Hello, everybody, and welcome to the first episode of what I'm going to call Stream Wars, where we just tell you what you should be watching every week or every month on all these streaming services. There's a lot of streaming services going around. You have your Netflixes, your Hulus, your Amazon Primes, your HBOs, Disney Plus, Apple. So we're going to go down the list and we're going to tell you exactly what you should be looking out for and maybe what you shouldn't watch. Some dark horses in there, but I'm not going to be doing this alone. Here with me is my friend Jader. How you doing, Jader?
What up? What up? How's it going, guys? How are you?
All right, it's good to see you again, man. You holding up during all this coronavirus stuff?
Going crazy. Look at this. I need a cut. I have cabin fever. I mean, I've literally been stuck at the house for a long time. If you saw the last episode, you saw that I kind of self-quarantined myself. But now I'm actually going out every day to go see my kids. But my ex doesn't actually want them leaving the house, which obviously, I understand her. So I've been going and doing my visits at their house. I'll spend all day with them and then I'll come back. So it's literally been a back and forth. So I actually get to see outside for a little bit. I remember I was telling the guys last week that the first time I went out the door to throw away some garbage, like I even had the shutters on my door. So when I walked outside, it was like literally like you've seen that SpongeBob meme where the guy's like my eyes and it's like burning his eyes. That's exactly what happened, dude. I completely like blacked out because I had not seen the sun for so long. It was crazy.
Listen, it's such a weird time right now where even just going outside for a run or something feels like you're running in the apocalypse. There's no one around. People are staying quiet, even though our state is the worst state right now, not case-wise, but just people-wise, because we're so dumb. And you see all those spring breakers still partying down there, even though everything's closed. And we just finally shut down the state. It's a mess going on out there right now.
No, it really has been. You know what? I mean, a silver lining in all these things. One thing that I have seen a lot. My ex lives like 5 minutes from here, so my 5 minute drive. What I have seen a lot has been a lot of outdoor. Even though they're supposed to stay quarantined or whatever. Mm-hmm. But I've seen a lot of people riding their bikes, rollerblading, things that I haven't seen, to be completely honest with you, since like the late 90s.
Yeah.
So, like, I've been living in this neighborhood for so long, mm-hmm. and I don't see kids play outside as much as I used to. And now it's like, now they don't want to go outside. They don't want to stay inside. You get me?
Well, I mean, we always complain about how we don't want to go to work and we wish we could just stay in bed all day and watch TV. You can do that right now.
You can do that now.
It's perfectly acceptable. We want you to do that right now. So it's just frustrating because now all the kids are like, you know what? I want to leave the house. And you know what? All right, go get the virus. And then all the anti-vacciners, now's your time. Prove us wrong.
We're gonna figure this out. Been real quiet, man.
They sure have. It's been
real quiet. But yeah, no. I mean, I try to do activities with the kids in the house. I try not to do the same thing, obviously, over and over. I've only been there 3 times already. But I mean, the first day we played, like, I built Legos with my son. We played a little bit of PlayStation. He still has school, so he did do his schoolwork. He has school. They do like 40-minute sections. They do like 3 sessions throughout the day. He's done by 3:00, but he doesn't start until like noon. You get me? So it's him and like 4 or 5 classmates with the math teacher, and then the other teacher would log on, and then the science teacher logs on. So I thought that was pretty cool how they're handling that. And then with my daughter, I've done like finger painting. We go outside. We've ridden our bikes in their backyard. We play basketball with them. Today I taught them hide and seek. They're not very good at that. It's the craziest thing ever how the kids are hiding, but if they see my footsteps, they're like, I'm right here, daddy. And I'm like, dude, shh. But yeah, man, it's been fun, man. It's been fun. And I haven't, like, the one thing that I've always said is I'm usually not off on the weekends.
Mm-hmm.
I'm always off during the weekday, and they obviously have school, so having them really early on the day has been awesome, because I usually get them from like 6 and on.
There's a lot of time. Now's a good time to spend time with your family and catch up with them, and it's also a good time to start streaming all these services. So we're gonna start with the biggest one, We're gonna start with Netflix. Netflix
Okay.
has been with us for a while now, and they're always bringing a lot of content. So much content that a lot of the stuff gets buried. So we're gonna go through it. April 1st is when a lot of stuff dropped yesterday, and they dropped quite a bit of things. I think the first thing we should start with is I would say The Matrix. That's the one that stands out to me the most.
Oh wow. Okay. See, no, yeah, I thought we were gonna go like in order, list down, but yeah, if you want a Matrix, absolutely. Which is it? Just the one?
All three of them are going to be on there. All three Matrix are going to be on there. So
Okay. Yeah, yeah.
if you haven't seen The Matrix, I mean, obviously it's one of the most revolutionary sci-fi films of all time. One of my projects in my film history class is to do a timeline of science fiction film from 1968 till today. And 68 was obviously with 2001: A Space Odyssey and Planet of the Apes came out on the same day. But 99 was the big year too, because that's when we got the Phantom Menace and when we got the Matrix, which revolutionized not what you could do with not only what you could do within the genre, but the effects itself. So, you know, with Star Wars, you saw the first CGI character, and then with the Matrix, you saw just what you could do with the cameras, with, you know, taking us into a whole new world. So the Matrix is always going to be one of those sci-fi films that is looked back on as one of the best that's ever been made.
I agree 100%. I can't really say the same for the sequels.
No.
At all. I've seen every Matrix film in theaters the first day it came out, including the original Matrix. And I saw that one in theater kind of by accident, but not really. I didn't really see a preview to the Matrix film, but I saw the poster with Keanu and Lawrence Fishburne with guns, and you know, in the jackets and all that, and I'm like, man, that looks badass. And it was my friend's birthday. Should have said happy birthday to him. We're so big on Facebook friends. But I remember we went to the movie theater, and he didn't know what to pick. And then I'm like, look, that movie looks really cool. And he goes, yeah, but what is it about? I'm like, I have no idea. And he goes, you know what? Let's watch it. And we saw it, and our minds were completely blown away by that film. And it really did change the game, because then after that, you started getting the slow motion, you know, 360 cameras like they were doing. Every single movie started, you know, following the footsteps of the Matrix.
Yep.
You know, going into a different world. We saw that with Blade Runner, Total Recall, and all that stuff. But the way that they revolutionized that was, you know, never been done, never been seen. Like, it's a very, very solid film. And to me, it still holds up. Some people say it doesn't really hold up. I think it does. I actually showed it to my girlfriend for the maybe like 4 months ago or something for the first time. She had never seen it. And she didn't like love it as much as I did, but she's like, I see so many films in this film. And then I'm like, just know that this did it first. And she goes, yeah, I know. She goes, it's crazy how, and she started naming all these other movies where she's like, this is from that. I'm like, yeah, absolutely. And then they were even mocking the Matrix for a long time, where, you know, with the whole
where you bend backwards and
exactly, like scary movies known to spoof every other movie, but when they started doing the Matrix like nonstop, you know.
It's fun. I think the one thing that doesn't hold up, it's just a tiny thing, is the phone booths, because we don't see phone booths anymore, which is why I'm really interested in Matrix 4, which is, it stopped filming, but it is filming right now, so it's to come out next year. What they're going to do with technology nowadays? You look at cell phones are all over the place, and cameras are always watching us. You got satellites everywhere.
No,
I think this is going to be a really cool
now
movie.
it's with computers and technology and all that. So the way that they're going to bring that, that has to be incredible writing, what they're going to do. So I'm very pumped for that. Very, very pumped for it. But I don't want to. Huh? What?
No, I was saying, what's the next movie that stands out to you?
So I mean, another one. I mean, if you're into the whole, because I know I mean, this is not streaming, but Bad Boys 3 dropped obviously on video on demand and all that. But Lethal Weapon is a movie that I feel doesn't get as much recognition as it should, and I feel like there's not a awful Lethal Weapon film. They're all pretty solid.
Yeah,
you know, for the most part, even the fourth one with Chris Rock and Jet Li and all that. I thought the fourth entry of that movie was pretty strong, but Lethal Weapon is one. When I saw that they were on, I'm like, that's awesome. Because actually, it's one of the ones that I do want to see. Since I'm studying for the whole Schmodown and everything.
Yeah.
I remember part 1 and part 4 really well, and I remember seeing 2 and 3, but I'm not too familiar with them. So
Yeah.
I've been looking for them, and they haven't been available. So it's when I saw that they were on here. Not much to talk about there, but it is a fun watch. If you've never seen the Lethal Weapon films, and if you can forgive Mel Gibson, despite, because how some people feel very strongly about him.
Oh yeah.
I would check that out. And another one that I just saw right now on the list is Molly's Game.
Yes, I'm glad you brought that up because I wasn't sure we were going to get to that. But Molly's Game was a very overlooked movie from 2017. Aaron Sorkin directed it.
First directed. First time.
That was his debut, which is just incredible when you look back at it. Considering you got Idris Elba and you got Jessica Chastain just spitting dialogue. It's boom, boom, boom.
The Sorkin way, man. It was the Sorkin way. It was exactly what I expected a Sorkin film to be.
Yeah.
The pacing and all, because his writing is excellent. And crazy enough, it was. I even overlooked it, but not by choice. I wanted to see it, but I never went to the movies to go see it or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't until it hit Blu-ray that I ended up picking it up blindly. But it was one of those buys that I was kind of sure that I was gonna like that movie, so I just bought it without seeing it. And I've seen it countless times. I can't even tell you how many times I've seen that movie, because I think it's so well written, and she's such a badass.
Oh, she's great.
So great in this film.
Well, the movie never really slows down too, which is what I really enjoy about it. The poker game is really interesting, and if you go back and read Molly's actual book, it references celebrities that were a part of it. So, like the Michael Cera character, who is Player X, that's Tobey Maguire.
Tobey Maguire, yeah, absolutely, dude.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
It makes sense though too when you look at and hear Tobey Maguire's stories and his attitude. So that's a great one. I'm glad you brought that up. Another one. This is a movie I just saw recently, and I never saw it when it came out. It's just been years, and I finally got around to it, and I really loved it. And now I understand why everyone loves it so much. It's The Perks of Being a Wallflower.
Oh man, yeah.
I've never seen this, and whenever I love coming of age movies, and whenever people would talk about coming of age movies, this movie would always come up.
This is like top 3 coming of age movie mentioned. As soon as they mention young adult films and all that, Perks is one of those that just gets thrown in there.
It always does, and I loved the Way Back. I loved with Edge of 17 is another one. Lady Bird's another one that's out there. But The Perks of Being a Wallflower, I finally understand why people love this movie so much, because Logan Lerman's character, Charlie, is such a relatable character.
Absolutely.
This introvert who's in a new school, who has his issues at home, and this stepbrother and stepsister just take him in and give him the confidence that he's been looking for his entire life. And it's something that's just going to warm your heart if you've never seen it before. Now that it's on Netflix, it's way more accessible. I would say this is the easy film to go out and choose first. You're not going to require a lot of concentration. You're going to get sucked in immediately. This is one I definitely choose.
Yeah, very. No, I agree with you 100%. I actually didn't see this movie. I saw this movie for the first time, maybe I want to say 2-3 years ago. 4 years ago. I saw it in 2016 for the first time, because so many people mentioned it, and so many people were talking about it. When they were mentioning, again, young adult films or coming of age films and all that. And I'm like, what the hell? What is this? So when I finally saw it, instantly hooked. It ended, and I had a big smile on my face. I'm like, this is a great film. And funny enough, I saw, I was on this, I actually saw in that week, I saw Spectacular Now. I saw Edge of 17 and Perks of Being a Wallflower, back to back to back. I was just in that mood.
The coming of age genre has been really good these past, I'd say, 10 years. They look at Booksmart just last year. That's another coming of age movie.
Booksmart is so fun.
I think it really started back with Superbad in 2007. That's when the coming of age genre really took a turn. And I'm just every time a coming of age movie comes out, I'm there for it, because there's a story we can always relate to.
Yeah.
I think there's two final ones I think we should talk about. Maybe one for April 1st. I would say The Social Network is one we definitely
Well,
need to.
yeah, no, we have to talk. But the thing is, like I was saying earlier, I could have sworn that The Social Network was on Netflix last month because I was really hyped when it finally got there. That's why it's kind of weird that they're putting it because I saw it on social media. I'm like, it's finally on social media. I mean,
Yeah.
social media on Netflix. Sorry, but I mean, if it's there, we'll talk about it. There's what's not to say about this film, you know.
Well,
Uh,
it's how I feel about the other one I want to talk. What I was going to bring up was Taxi Driver. I feel like that one's been on Netflix forever too. It's weird how social
yeah,
media.
it's been on and off. It's one of those that have been on and off.
Yeah.
It's not like a premiered, first time on Netflix. That's what I feel. But I could have sworn that Social Network was there like a month ago. That's why when you mentioned that it was April 1st, I was kind of like,
I know it's weird.
But yeah, but I mean, two great films. You have on Social Network, you have Fincher directing, you have Sorkin writing. So, and
Mhm.
it's another one. It's like Molly's Game. It just it doesn't stop. That movie does not slow down. It doesn't get boring. It doesn't make you love Zuckerberg, like he's obviously the protagonist. You feel bad for Eduardo, which again, and I will forever mention that he got snubbed for supporting actor.
I can agree with that. Mhm.
Garfield deserved that, hands down. Army
Eisenberg's a
Hammer.
great Zuckerberg, man. He like that. Looking back at it, I can't imagine another actor in that role.
No, he was fantastic in it, man. He was fantastic in it, and he's just. I love the scene when they're talking to him, and he's like looking out the window, and then they're like, "You got to pay attention to me," this and that. And he goes, "No, no, no, no. You get this much attention."
Yes.
He's like, "Barely none. Like I'm not supposed to." Like it was just his whole attitude about the whole thing for me. It was just perfect. Everything, it just worked out. I don't know. That movie for me is it was in the top for me in the top 10 of the decade.
Well, I was going to bring that up. Actually, that was the consistent movie on everyone's best of the decade list. Was The Social Network. You saw a couple Mad Maxes on there. You saw a couple. Arrival was on there for me. I saw that a lot of one, but Social Network was, I think, kind of the consensus number one movie of the decade if you take everyone's list together. So that's definitely one to check out. All of these that we've been mentioning are all on Netflix right now because these came out April 1st. So yesterday. I'm just going to run down the list of just movies or TV shows you should watch that are on Netflix right now for April 1st.
I've never seen this show. I'm sorry to interrupt, but
no, Community. I know where you're going. Community.
I've never seen it, never even, but every one of my friends has been spazzing out that it's on there.
Yeah.
I heard somebody even told me that it's like a better Big Bang.
I've heard comparisons to like The Office and stuff. I'm definitely interested in it. I'll get around to it at some point. There's a lot of TV shows I need to get around to. Community, I'm always good for a half-hour comedy. So I'll get to that event. They always said, I think their motto was 6 seasons in a movie is what they wanted to do. So they have their 6 seasons, and they're just waiting on that movie one day. But Community was what I wanted to bring up. There's also like Deep Impacts on there. You have Just Friends. Killer Clowns from Outer Space was the first movie to terrify me as a kid.
Road to Perdition.
What would you say? Road to Perdition.
Road to Perdition.
Mortal Kombat's on there.
Hey, that's the best Mortal Kombat movie, man. Hands down. I actually the best Mortal Kombat movie out of Annihilation and this one and Street Fighter. It's one of the better video game movies. Sorry.
See, I love what we've gotten recently. I love with the Tomb Raider and Detective Pikachu. And
but we're talking. Okay, let's not take the last 2 years because they have been getting better. Obviously, Sonic for me is way up there because Sonic is excellent. Detective, like not count. Let's not count the last 2 years. Prior to that, I think Mortal Kombat is the one that stays there.
If we're doing that, then yes, you're right. You're absolutely. I mean, the Angry Birds movie might have some competition for you, but that's it. And then one more, The Death of Stalin, which I did. I interviewed Jason Isaacs for that movie when that came out. Death of Stalin's a great political comedy about when Joseph Stalin passed away and how much of a mess all his entourage was around him, trying to figure out who's going to be the next person. So
I'll check that out. I haven't even heard of that movie. I feel. Never heard of
you
it.
got Steve Buscemi, you got what was his name, the Jeffrey Tambor, and you got
I like Jeffrey Tambor.
Jason Isaacs, and a bunch of other mismatch of people. So check that one
You know,
out.
it's funny. They were mentioning you. Steve mentioned that that he wanted you to watch Entourage.
Oh yeah, so I can use right now to go through the comments because we've been getting a lot. Steve told us to stop touching our faces. Yeah, I slapped my face at one point. He said, "My son is the same way. He would scream out where he was hiding, referencing your hide and seek."
Nice.
Steve said his hot takes will be up later tonight regarding Netflix. All right. He also
That
loves
what?
Bad Boys. He said he really enjoyed Molly's game and Perks being Wallflower is really good. Dan also echoes that, saying Perks is great. Scott, funny. I'm actually doing a movie article on this. I think he's talking about Perks of being a Wallflower. Everyone's talking about Perks being a Wallflower. Dan says Ezra
Great
Miller.
film.
It's a really great film. Dan says Ezra Miller is better, and we need to talk about Kevin though. That's a disturbing movie. If you've never seen, we need to talk about Kevin.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
That's Ezra Miller, Tilda Swinton, and I forget who plays the husband, but Ezra Miller is just basically like a problem child where there might be something really wrong with him. Scott loves Bad Boys for Life.
Nice. Good job, Scott. I thought you were gonna. I could have sworn he was gonna shit on that.
I thought so too, but he liked it. He gave up on Sonic today. That was something he told us.
Oh, come on.
What else? Dan loves Social Network. He says Taxi Driver's phenomenal film. My second favorite Scorsese behind Raging Bull. Both my top 10 of all time. And then Steve saying that Entourage is 30 minutes or less. So I should watch that.
Yeah, no, the only thing that I would tell you about Entourage to like get through is the acting. It gets better as it, but the beginning is kind of like shady. But for me, it's the very first show that I can say that I was addicted to. Wanted to like that I binged. I think I caught it when it was like on the 4th season live. So I binged 1 through 4, and then I saw from the 4th season and on. I saw it every Sunday on HBO. Yeah. I feel like you would like the show because of the life they live. It's all Hollywood, and especially it talks about the producer standpoint, director standpoint, the actor standpoint, them living their lives, them losing the shit. For me, it's phenomenal. Okay. I really, really dig the hell out of that show. Just get through the whole act, but the reason why I mentioned it right now is because Jeffrey Tambor is in the show. He plays himself, so it's really funny.
So let's just go down the rest of the month for Netflix. April 2nd, you have The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, which is one of the best westerns of all time.
Absolutely.
Definitely check that out. I know westerns aren't for everyone, but if you give it a chance, you'll have a fun time. Angel Has Fallen, April 4th. I
haven't seen that, and everybody tell me that it's a fun flick.
It's fun. It's me. You know exactly what it is from the moment it starts, the moment it ends. But then stick around for about like maybe 10 seconds after the credits start. There's a mid-credit scene with Nick Nolte, who plays Gerard Butler's father. And it's so weird where they go and I don't want to describe it to you to spoil, but it has nothing to do with the rest of the film. It's a completely different genre they tackle in there, and it's just very strange considering it's a father-son thing what they're doing.
Okay,
it's definitely worth checking out just for that scene.
I like the first two. I liked Olympus and London. Olympus for me was actually like a great action flick, and London it is what it is, you know. So I did want to see Angel. I just didn't care to go see it in the theater. I'm glad it's on Netflix. I'll check it out.
I'm one of those guys who likes White House Down. I thought White House Down was better. I think that movie...
I didn't see it because I saw Olympus, and I was like, I've seen one. I didn't need it. They came out like 2 months apart, dude.
I know, it was weird.
So I was like, no, I'll skip. I figured since Olympus was R-rated, I was like, I probably saw the better version one. Like Olympus was like Die Hard. It was Die Hard in the White House.
White House Down knew exactly what genre it was in, and it played up to the pulpy ridiculousness of it. Jamie Foxx and Channing Tatum were great. Yeah. A great little duo. I think that movie is very underrated. What else do we have? Killing of a Sacred Deer. I never saw that one, but I know Yorgos Lanthimos. He directed that. He also did The Favorite and The Lobster. Yeah. I heard it's very disturbing. That's all.
Yeah, I haven't seen it either.
What else? April 14th. I think this will be funny. Chris D'Elia's got his Netflix comedy special coming out. I think he's a great.
Guys, speaking of comedy specials, if you guys haven't seen the Tom Segura one, the Ball Hog, please watch it because it's freaking hilarious.
I haven't seen it.
Saw like 2 nights ago, but he's such a savage and he's so funny. It's really like he doesn't care, and I love that. Like that's what one thing, and he talks about it about how comedians shouldn't have to filter their comedy based on what offends you or what doesn't. If you don't like it, turn it off. But he has this whole thing on that, right? He has this whole bit like that he's just rambling about, people getting offended by his comedy, and he just like uppercuts it, man. It's really funny. You should watch it, man.
Well, that's what Dave Chappelle does right now, and Chappelle stuff's been crushing it. So I'm sure.
Chappelle hasn't missed so far with Netflix specials. There's some better than others, but they've all been really well done.
Well, it's a shame they had to cancel. Netflix had that big comedy special coming up with every comedian that's out there right now. That was supposed to be this month, and then it got moved because of this whole crisis. What else we got? We got Despicable Me, Hail Caesar, one of the lesser Coen brothers films.
I'm actually studying Coen film, so that's perfect. So that's going to be on my watch list because I have not seen Hail Caesar.
It's so weird, but it's also one of theirs, so you have to check it out. The Green Hornet, another not very good movie. I don't see anything else on there. Afterlife, The Artist, and Django Unchained on April 25th.
Look at that! Nice
Oscar winner.
Well, they're both technically Oscar winners. One Best Picture, and remember Django Best Supporting.
Yep. Christoph Waltz. Yeah, he got that. I thought DiCaprio should have gotten it for.
DiCaprio should have won for Django, and he should have won for The Wolf of Wall Street. He shouldn't have won for The Revenant.
In the same year.
And he shouldn't have won for The Revenant. So, but whatever. That was the IOU to DiCaprio.
I guess so. Django, I think. Honestly, I think that might be Quentin Tarantino's least talked or maybe most overlooked movie. I guess Jackie Brown, but I think Django gets overlooked. I think too because it kind of came out in between Inglourious Bastards, which is one everyone loved, and then Hateful Eight, which is one a lot of people didn't like that much. So Django's just kind of that forgotten one. I think Django's one of his better ones, so I would definitely see it.
It's my top 3. For me, it depends on the day you ask me, but it's between Pulp Fiction and Inglourious Bastards. They switch.
Okay.
And then number 3 spot secured is Django, which is crazy because I love Reservoir Dogs, I love Kill Bill, but it's just for me those are, and it's all about the writing, the dialogue between characters. I love in Inglourious Bastards. There's so many characters to love. Yeah. Same goes with Django. Django has just like even dude, what's it? Don Johnson's character, Big Daddy. That whole Big Daddy scene, that's awesome, dude. Loved everything about that,
I go Inglourious Bastards, and then Once Upon a Time in Hollywood I loved, and then probably Pulp Fiction with Django right there at 4.
Damn, no Pulp Fiction?
No, Pulp was 3.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Pulp's 3, yeah. But no, I think Inglourious Bastards is one of the best written films of these past 20 years since this century started. And that's definitely one I would check out. I guess that's it for Netflix. Let's move on to what's the next one I sent you. I think it's Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
All right, let's pull up Amazon. Real quick, there's a couple of comments on here. No one likes Dan loves Killing of a Sacred Deer. Steve did not like it. He said it was awful. Also, we have Dan saying Nick Nolte was the best part of Angel Has Fallen. That film is garbage. I knew it was going to happen in the first 15 minutes of the film. Yeah, I mean, you know exactly where it's going. Have you seen the you know where it's going. I also want to point out Rodolfo is kind of jumping the gun here. Rodolfo Morales, by saying Onward is going to be on Disney Plus tomorrow. We'll get to that a little later today. We'll talk about that one. What else we got? Dan saying the Green Hornet is garbage, and he also said that Leo did a transformative performance in The Revenant. That's why he won. I mean, you don't have.
I get it. I know why. I just feel like he should have. If that's the case, he should have had 3 by now.
Yeah, it's whatever. He should have like 3 or 4 Oscars by now. But he'll catch up eventually. I think he's got more Oscars in his future. All right, let's
Yeah.
go with Amazon Prime. We'll start with April 1st. These are movies that are just dropped yesterday. What else we got on here?
You
Looks
got
like a lot of James Bond.
87 Bond films.
Well, there you go. That's what they're
But
hitting you with
this
this.
this is exactly what I mean. They're recycling films. And I don't. I mean, it is what it is. But I did the Amazon article. I want to say in January or February, and that was the case, or in December. And I wrote, I'm like, James Bond fans are gonna lose their mind because every single James Bond film is on Amazon Prime. I can't really say much about James Bond. I started watching James Bond film with Pierce Bronson. So GoldenEye was the very first James Bond movie I saw, and then I've seen them all after that. I've never gone back to see the Sean Connery ones. I've never seen any of the Roger Moore ones or the Timothy Daltons. So
They're
I
not the
have.
same as they are now. Like if you're someone who wants to get in the Bond because you like the Daniel Craig movies, if you go back where they all started, there's a lot of goofiness back in there. Not all these Bond films are the same. So I just say be careful, but you also have those diehard Bond fans who just love every single movie. So
Yeah.
it is what it is. There's people out there who have their different tastes, but besides that, I don't see much else that came out already. Like The Bodyguard's on here. They have a lot of weird movies. Son of Monte Cristo, which is different from The Count of Monte Cristo. You got Tarzan the Fearless. So a lot of
But
just
have I Am Legend. I Am Legend is worthy, I think, of speaking of. I really enjoyed that movie. I feel like that movie doesn't get enough credit either, or I don't know if it holds up because I haven't seen it since. But I think that it was a fairly decent Will Smith movie.
I heard
Um,
that it's actually holding up well right now with the crisis
Good.
we're in
All
because
right,
of
cool.
the whole he's looking for a cure and obviously the zombies are a little far fetched, but
Yeah,
no,
of
Will
course.
Smith. This was kind of the last time Will Smith put in a good movie for a little bit because Will Smith has had a really rough go at it this
As
past.
of late, yeah, as of late, absolutely, man. He hasn't. It hasn't been on his side, man. To be complete, and I want to say the same. I want to say I Am Legend was probably the last like great Will Smith movie.
It's too bad.
Um, I didn't hate Men in Black 3 because I hated Men in Black 2 so much. And I thought the way they tied everything in the end, what made Men in Black 3 for me was the ending.
Yeah,
Why K is the way he is with him and everything. Like, I thought that was freaking genius.
I think Josh
Um,
Brolin's great in that movie, and I think what's
Josh
Michael
Nolan,
Stuhlbarg.
Josh Brolin, like nails no homo, Tommy Lee Jones. Like everything about
Absolutely.
Tommy Lee Jones, he kills that. He
Mm-hmm.
did such a and I love Alice Eve. I just have the biggest crush on her. But seeing her in that film, being younger, being the younger M, is that who she is?
No, I think it's H, right?
Eight, right? Oh
Yeah,
yeah, it's
Emma
Emma
Thompson's
Thompson's
character.
character.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah, that was the last good Men in Black movie because International was not good. Which that
oh,
was
see, I haven't even seen that, dude. I loved one because one is amazing. Saw two in the theater, and that was the first movie I walked out in because I hated it. And then three, I waited. I'm like, I'm not watching that garbage. And then I didn't see it until it released on video, and I rented it, and I'm like, oh, this is way better than I thought it was gonna be.
yeah. And then four
But yeah,
was the biggest
so
disappointment.
I am Legend. I would actually especially now, like you said, it holds up, man.
Um,
Um,
April 10th, we got Rambo Last Blood. If you're a Rambo fan, you can have fun with this, but it's a very problematic movie. The movie's got
I love this movie,
a lot
man.
of problems with how they treat Mexico. Huh?
I loved it, man. I mean, I get it. I understand it. Makes them look really bad, man. Like really bad. It's like they had some sort of agenda to
It
just like
does.
shit on Mexico.
But you know what you
But I mean,
no, you know what you're getting with a Rambo movie.
Rambo 5 is Home Alone with John Rambo, just setting those booby traps at the end of the movie. And let me tell you, it's not like your typical Rambo movie because all the other Rambo movies is like, from beginning to end. Well, except for the first one, but two and three are like, and four are nonstop guts and, bullet holes and everything. And this one takes its time to try to tell, the story that it did. that
And
it
then he
does.
makes
I'm
it
sorry. Some
throw up.
shit, some shit goes down in the middle, and then just like the third act is just what you went to go see paid money to go see.
Exactly.
But I had fun with it, man. I had fun with it. I really did like Rambo. But
Listen,
I said it. I think I told you when I walked out. I'm like, saw Rambo. Mexicans are gonna be pissed off at us. Great time.
Oh man! And then on April 16th, a movie that I actually own but haven't seen yet is The Lighthouse. People went
I
crazy
haven't
for
seen
this
it.
movie.
I
Robert
haven't seen it.
Pattinson and Willem Dafoe. I've heard Willem Dafoe gives an amazing performance in this movie, and that it's very disturbing. He does a lot of yelling. You can't understand what he's saying, and that it ends very weirdly. But I do want to check it out because I do like Robert Eggers. I thought The Witch is great, and
The Witch is fantastic.
yeah.
The
So
Witch is a very underrated film. Not a lot of people have seen that movie, and they need to. It's such a slow burn
yeah.
because the whole time you're trying to figure out what the hell's going on. Once everything gets revealed at the end, it's another one where I was like blown away. And it took me a long time to see The Witch too. I saw Hereditary, loved it so much, and then my cousin was the one who was like, "You need to see The Witch if you haven't seen it." And I did, and I saw it after I saw Hereditary, and loved it. Which I know
Also,
you have.
I want to point out with The Lighthouse, if you are one of those people who is very skeptical about Robert Pattinson being Batman,
Being Batman.
I heard you get to check him out masturbating in this movie. So there you go.
There you go.
And then you
Get a
got
little bit more than bat nipples.
the remake of Footloose coming out April 29th on Amazon Prime, but I heard that one's not bad. I heard it's not a bad remake, but obviously it doesn't hold up to what the first one was.
Yeah.
So let's move on. Let's go to Hulu.
All right.
And a couple of more people are really contributing here. We got Javier Johnson goes Jader.
Well,
What else do we got in here? Dan says The Plot Against America is on HBO and Dev's on Hulu. Both good shows. Everyone should skip Tiger King. Oh, that's a hot take right there.
yeah.
And then Dan saying everyone should watch Hunters. Al Pacino is awesome in it. I thought Hunters was fine. I was really into the first 2 episodes, and then it became very repetitive for the next 6 episodes. And then I remember it was like in episode 6, they were torturing so bad that I started to feel bad for Nazis. And that's not something I want to feel watching that show. And then obviously the ending is what people talk about. There's 2 twists that happen. One of them's fine. It's actually very interesting. The other one is so stupid. It makes no sense that I don't even want to go back and watch season 2 whenever it comes out.
Really?
Yeah, it's just Pacino's great in it. I think Logan Lerman once again is great. But the rest, I just have no desire to go see season 2 when that comes out. Dan saying I liked Men in Black 3 way better than 2. Rodolfo saying I Am Legend has an alternate ending on Blu-ray.
Yes. It is an excellent. You haven't seen it?
No.
You want me to spoil it for you?
Yeah, I don't mind. I mean, do they find
He
the cure?
survives.
Yeah.
He actually survives in the alternate ending, and then I haven't seen it since. I think since it came out on Blu-ray, but I don't know if he injects himself and he's the cure, and then they leave.
Mm-hmm.
But I know he survives and he ends up going to the exile place with her and the kids. So he ends up surviving in the alternate ending. I'm not 100% sure if Rodolfo knows exactly what happened. He wants to type it up. He can.
I'm sure he's seen it. Yeah.
Yeah, but I know for a fact that he survives at the end.
What else we got in here? Both Dan and James. James is in the chat now, saying that The Lighthouse is and garbage. So they're saying we shouldn't see that. I'm gonna find it. And then James says Hunters was really underwhelming. Well,
oh wow,
kind of the same way that I felt.
I'm hearing mixed, man. Some people are telling me it's the greatest thing ever, and then some people are telling me that I've heard that before, that the ending is not good at all. No,
and Amazon Prime had a way better shows this past year with both The Boys and Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. So I don't think Hunters held up to either one of those. Let's go to Hulu, though. Hulu, April 1st. Like I said, these are on here right now. I think Hulu's got a better selection than Amazon just from, getting a quick skim of these. We've got movies like The Book of Eli's on there. You've got
Book of Eli is one of those movies that I feel like I am in the minority where I didn't love it. I thought it was fine.
mhm,
I thought like rewatching it and once you get the twist and rewatching the movie, you're like, I don't buy it, you
yeah,
know. But again, good performances from. I think my favorite part of that film is Gary Oldman, but
yeah,
he's my favorite part in most films. If he's in it,
mhm,
I'm usually locked in with whoever. He's such a chameleon,
yeah.
and he like what movie I saw last night was True Romance, and he's
Okay.
so great.
It was funny. Gary Oldman got knocked out in our tournament pretty early on. I thought he'd be one of those guys who maybe quietly makes a
I
run.
know. I saw, and I was really pissed off about that.
I
So
forget who
pissed
we
off
went
about
up against, but yeah, it was sad to see Oldman kind of fall. We
it.
got another Tarantino mix. Kill Bill Volume 1 and 2 is out on Hulu right now. You can check that out. We also have Misery, Stephen King
I
movie.
love that movie, man.
Oh yeah, that's a disturbing movie. We just did for this website top 10 single location movies, and that one made the
Yeah.
list.
Oh,
Um,
for sure. It had to. There's no way that it wasn't gonna make that list, man.
no,
It
no,
had to.
and
We
Kathy
we
Bates.
go ahead.
Huh?
Oh, no, go ahead.
No, I was just saying Kathy Bates gives one of the. I think if you look at the best actresses' performances, if you look at all the Oscars ever, she has to be in the top 10 for that performance there.
Oh yeah.
It's
No,
so
absolutely.
disturbing.
Absolutely. And he killed it too. James Caan killed it too.
Oh yeah.
One movie that you skimmed by very quick, but I love is Let Me In. I don't know if you saw that with Chloe
Okay.
Moretz.
No, I saw Let the Right One In, which was the
Oh, you
movie.
saw the original.
Yes, I've never seen Let Me In though. So if you want
It's
to talk about that one as compared to the original,
I haven't seen the original. This is the first one
ah,
that I saw. So for me, I hear that the original is fantastic, but people that have seen both have told me that this actually is not a bad one. And
yeah,
it's uh who the hell directed it, man?
Matt
I
Reeves.
think it was Matt Reeves. Yeah, right. It
Yeah,
was Matt Reeves. I'm like, he's doing something right now. He's doing the Batman. Yeah. But yeah, no performances. Creepy, sad. It's everything that you can get in a horror movie, man. I and the performances for me are out of this world, man. So I
yeah.
would definitely not sleep on that one. I would check that out 100%.
I kind of want to check that out now. Looking, I mean, after seeing the original, because the original is very sad, and you know it's coming. You know that this relationship can't work out.
Can't
Um,
work out. So you'll again, it's kind of the same, obviously.
yeah.
So but check it out. It's great. The performances are amazing, man.
What else we got here? We got Risky Business. Tom Cruise's famous sliding in with old time
Dun,
rock and
dun,
roll
dun,
scene.
dun.
If you want to check that out, Romancing the Stone, Robert Zemeckis film that's really fun. That's not you can watch it. Michael
Oh, you
Douglas.
got the sequel too.
Oh, you
Jewel of
do?
the Nile. Right
Ah,
under it,
look at
Jewel of the
that.
Nile. That's the sequel.
So you can see the back to
Uh,
back versions of that.
yeah, Kathleen Turner and Michael Douglas, Robert Zemeckis. I don't think I finished Jewel of the Nile. I love Romancing the Stone. It's a fun film.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
definitely a really fun one. What else we got? Oh, and then the big one. There's two big ones I think to finish off. We got Spider-Man,
Oh yeah.
2002 Spider-Man. It's so weird to watch that movie now after so many Spider-Mans have come out since. And obviously every year, every time a Spider-Man movie comes out, which feels like every year now, people rank them. And I feel like this one's starting to really dig its feet into the very middle of everyone's rankings.
Yep.
You got your Amazing Spider-Man 2s and your Spider-Man 3s at the bottom. And at the top, you have your Spider-Verses and your Spider-Man Homecoming and Spider-Man 2. I feel
Yeah,
like,
you have your MCUs and your Homecomings on the top,
yeah,
and then Spider-Man 2 right above Spider-Man, and then you have your bottom two Spider-Mans with the Amazing Spider-Mans films and three. Um,
yeah,
I was a little kid in the candy store watching it because Spider-Man, I've made it super known that that is my favorite superhero. Him and Batman, but for Marvel, it will
yeah.
forever and always be Spider-Man. As much as I love
Mm.
obviously all other Marvel characters, knowing that the Spider-Man film was coming out for me was, again, I had imagine, dude, I was a kid. I had a calendar. I was marking down the days to the big Spider-Man movie, and then when the day finally came and I got to see the movie, I was completely blown away from it. I remember one of my cousins went with me, and my age too, And she's like, "How do you like this?" She didn't like it. She was like, "This looks like I'm watching a Power Ranger film."
Yeah.
She's like, "It's so corny." And then I thought it was, again, the greatest thing, the greatest superhero movie ever made, which I didn't think it was going to be possible because I had Batman and Batman Returns like on such a high pedestal.
Okay.
But this Spider-Man for me blew it out of the water completely. Defoe kills it
See, I think
as
it's
Green
also
Goblin.
way better than the other superhero franchise that started there and the X-Men series. I think Spider-Man's. I'm not a big fan of those X-Men movies. All three of those early ones. Like X2, I know
You
people.
like X2?
I think X2 is fine. I don't think any of those movies hold up. All three of them, I think, are very dated when you look back at them. And I think Spider-Man's starting to feel dated. Spider-Man 2 still holds up really well, though.
Absolutely.
But yeah, if you really, these are the movies that started out this big superhero boom that we're in right now. And
Yep.
if you want to see where that really began, yeah, definitely. If you haven't seen the original Spider-Man yet, I would definitely check it out, especially now with Sam Raimi directing Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah.
You can get kind of a sense of where he's going to take that character in the MCU with Spider-Man.
And we were all, because Scott Derrickson is a he was the one that was attached. Obviously, he did the original Doctor Strange, and he was going to do the sequel. And we were all obviously wanting, because with the whole Morbius and everything, maybe they were going to start attaching everything, like you bring a horror element to it, right?
Yeah.
And obviously Scott Derrickson comes from a horror background. He did The Exorcism of Emily Rose, which is a very underrated film, and I feel like a lot more people they should watch that movie. If you haven't seen that, Kyle, watch it.
And Sinister's out there too. That's his other one.
Sinister's another one. So who better to replace Derrickson than Raimi? You know, who did The Evil Dead? Drag Me to Hell is a very campy but very underrated, I feel, horror film.
Mm-hmm.
If you haven't seen Drag Me to Hell, watch that as well. It's very, very good. I know it's on. I'm pretty sure it's on HBO, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, he also produced a good one last year when Crawl. I thought Crawl was a very underrated movie.
Crawl was excellent, man. Yes. Crawl was excellent. That was. Let me tell you, I think I told you this, that I am terrified of gators and crocodiles and all. Like, I lived and I was born and raised in Miami. I've never been to the Everglades. When they had field trips in my school to go to the Everglades, I would stay home. I would tell my mom I'm not going. So I had a panic attack watching Crawl, but I had such fun watching it. But I did. It's one of those movies that.
Did you see it in the theaters?
I saw it in Dolby.
Dude, when that alligator breaks through the stairs, the first start of the movie, that's when everything gets real, and the movie does not let you go until the very end.
It's like a gator grabbing you and just doesn't want to let go. Like, it's like the perfect analogy. But it was crazy because I saw it with a bunch of my family. It was like, I want to say like 8 or 9 of us in my family. We were all bored. I'm like, hey, I want to go see Crawl. Let's go. So we all went, and we all walked out of there like, what the hell did we just watch? Because no one heard of it, because my family's not really into movies. But they all walked out, and they did not shut up about it. That multiple times, I think a lot of them went and took their friends to go see it afterwards because they like loved it so much. But yes, he did great. Sam Raimi's someone that I'm always a fan of his, always. And I'm excited what he does with Doctor Strange. And if you really haven't seen, which I don't think there's a lot of you out there that have not seen the first Spider-Man film, but if you haven't, definitely check it out.
And then the last one that's out right now is Zombieland. Zombieland. It's a really fun movie. It's the type of movie that if it's on cable, you can put it on at any point and finish it. It's still it's a blast to get through.
Replay value 900. Like it's one of those few films not few, because there's a couple of mine that Bad Boys is actually one of them. 1, 2, or 3 now. Bad Boys and Zombieland are one of those films that if it's on, I won't change. I'll just sit down and just finish watching it. The whole Bill Murray bit on both 1 and 2, but the one on part 1, I have never laughed in the movie so hard as much as I did in Zombieland with that scene, because it was so unexpected.
I didn't think part 2 was very good. I thought it was very forgettable.
It's more of the same. That's what it was.
It's the exact same thing.
Yeah. I didn't hate it.
I thought Oh, go ahead.
She was funny. Imagine Zombieland 2 is already out on VOD, and I have it on Vudu. but I bought it just because I'm a Zombieland fan.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it again since the theater. And I knew that with Zombieland 1, when it came out, it was like constantly nonstop on my Blu-ray player. Like I would always, right before I would go to sleep, I'd pop it in and go to sleep. I know that movie word for word, you know? I can't say the same with part 2. I didn't hate part 2 though. I
No, I
thought it
didn't
was
hate it
fine.
either.
It's fine, you know, but it's the exact same film.
Yeah, you're gonna forget about it like right as soon as you leave the theater. It's good entertainment, but as soon as you're done watching it, it's not gonna change your life or anything. It's not gonna stick with you like the first one does. It's just kind of there, which sucks. I wish there was
Yeah.
more to it.
Well, the thing that happened, I think they took too long to release it. You
Yeah.
know, like I feel like a lot of these people, and they were, you know, one of the things that I said, I'm like, all right, so 10 years and it's been the same shit. What's going on now? And then I don't know. That's a
They
whole
had
nother
nothing
episode.
interesting to say in the second one, and if
Yeah,
you don't have anything interesting to say, then this movie really have a reason to exist, and the answer
exactly.
is usually no. Also, I want to point out it's not on this list, but this was just announced a little earlier. Right now on Hulu, actually no, tomorrow on Hulu, you can see Portrait of a Lady on Fire. If you don't know what this movie is, it's a foreign film from France that came out last year that I've heard described as the best love story of the past decade. And it wasn't nominated for an Oscar because France submitted Les Miserables instead. But from everyone I've heard, it is one of the most incredible movies they've ever seen. This has one of the best endings they've ever seen to a movie, and it's one. And feel like if you're into foreign films, this is one you probably have to check out. I'm gonna check it out because it didn't come to theaters until Valentine's Day nationwide here, and then even then it was very limited. So Portrait Lady on Fire, look out for that. But we're talking about foreign films right now. April 8th's got a big one.
April 8th.
Parasite.
Parasite, man.
Speaking of Oscars too.
What's not to say about this film, man? I felt like I was one of the last people to see this movie. I saw it after it won the Oscar, you know. Yep. And it's crazy because I put it on the night that it won the Oscar. I'm like, all right, I gotta see it. And mind you, it's been on my radar since it released because I heard the hype from the festivals.
Yes.
And I'm like, I gotta go see Parasite. I gotta go see Parasite. So it's not like I heard of it right when it won the Oscar, like a lot of people did. I just never got around to seeing it, right? But then I started getting scared with is it getting overhyped? A lot of people are telling me how great it is. Is it getting overhyped? I don't know, this and that. So even that night, I couldn't, not that I couldn't get into it, but the Oscars finished late. I had to work really early in the morning. So I only saw like 20 minutes in, and I was like, all right, it's not bad, but what is it about?
Right.
Because even now, when you ask me what is it about, I'd rather not tell you. I'm like, just watch it, you know?
Yeah.
So I had to pause it, and then it took me like 3 days to pick it up again. But I started it from the beginning because I'm like, let me just see it in one sitting, and that movie blew me away.
Oh,
it blew me away, and I should have known better, obviously, because of the director. I've seen the Host, which a lot of people haven't seen that movie. Snowpiercer is another one that it's a fantastic movie. And I can't recommend Parasite enough.
I mean, there was a lot of great movies nominated for Oscars last year for Best Picture, and I was not mad at all that this one won.
Of course, I don't think I don't think anyone, once they've seen Parasite, was like, oh, but this should have won. Everybody, I think the general census, which is the first time in a long time, or at least in the last couple of years, that people were like, that movie deserved to win the Best Picture. Because I remember even when with La La Land and Moonlight and what I forgot what won last year.
It was Green Book.
Green Book, that was controversial. The Shape of Water was super controversial. Like, there was a lot of movies that people just rather have another one win. They had a personal favorite. I feel like once Parasite won, everybody that had seen that movie already were like, okay, no, I'm not mad. That it really did deserve it. And even then, because obviously, go ahead.
I was gonna say, like, I loved Jojo Rabbit last year. I was pushing hard for that film. That's one of the best films of the decade for me. I'm not mad that it lost to Parasite. If it would have lost in 1917, I would have been a little but because I still like 1917 a lot, but I don't think it was the best picture of the year. But
Yeah.
Parasite, definitely worthy.
Well, you know, I was gunning for Joker, obviously, being biased with that.
One.
So I was, and then once it didn't win, and I was, and everybody, well, not everybody who I was here with, none of us had seen Parasite, none of us. And we were, I think my buddy wasn't going for Joker either. He wanted another movie to win. I forgot which one. I think it was 1917. But but me and Steph were like, no. I want Joker to win Joker, and Jojo Rabbit was my number 2.
Yeah,
that's who I wanted. If either one of them won, I would have been perfectly fine. So whatever. But again, this is coming from me that had not seen Parasite. Once I saw Parasite, I'm like, that deserved to win.
Yeah,
I'm like, there's no ifs, ands, and buts.
Sense. I just showed Parasite to my grandmother and sister because I've been trying to get them to push it. And there's that stigma out there, which it's always going to be out there about people don't want to read subtitles. It's just
I have a bunch of my friends are like, I recommended Parasite, and then I recommended Train to Busan. And they don't want to read. They're like, oh, I don't want to read. And I was like, what the hell? There's so many great foreign films out there.
Yes. You're gonna find a great, like, if you can just get past, like Bong Joon-ho said, that 1-inch barrier, then you're gonna open up your world to tons of amazing movies, which is what I think Parasite's doing for quite a few people.
Agreed, man. Agreed. No, actually, because of Parasite and people that actually saw it, they're more open. So I got I have seen friends that have never seen Pan's Labyrinth before. Yeah. You know, and I told them to watch that. You know, again, Train to Busan, which I don't know if you saw the trailer that came out today for Train to Busan. Have you seen Train to Busan? Have you seen it?
No, I haven't seen Train to Busan either.
Oh, can you please watch it? It's on Netflix.
Okay, yeah, I'll get around
to it. Please watch it. It's grade A.
Just one more on Hulu. There's one called Abominable, which is a movie that I didn't get to see last year. It was an animated film that came out by DreamWorks, and it stars Chloe Bennett as the main character, and she finds an abominable snowman. And from looking at the trailer, I thought it was going to be the same thing as Smallfoot, which came out the year before, which is not a good movie. And I've heard it's actually a very sweet movie. So if you have kids and you're getting tired of watching Moana and Frozen 2, maybe pop on Abominable.
I don't know if you saw my my Instagram today that I saw Frozen 2 today for like the 8th time in like 4 days.
Do you like that movie?
Yeah, Frozen 2. Yeah. I liked it. It was fine. I still like the original. Yeah. I like the original more. The soundtrack it's already played out for me because of the kids. Like I left the kids now and they were jamming to the soundtrack. I don't hate the movie. I actually saw it today, like in its entirety, because when I say I've seen it like 18 times, I mean like bits and pieces, but constantly, you know?
Yeah.
And there's a lot of things that I saw today that I'm like, I like that. I liked it more. I'm more with the replay, but I think I told you the first time I thought it was fine when we saw it, but I didn't think it was better than the first. I didn't think it was better than Moana.
It's way more mature than the first one, and it's just more about your taste. I think it's actually more for adults than kids, the second one, but it still made over $1 billion. Frozen's always going to be fine. Let's move to HBO.
All right.
HBO, which is to me the best, the most consistent when it comes to television. They always put out just great content every single week, no matter what's on. And April 1st, they threw on some heavy hitters to start. The American Pie series, all of them are on there.
Love those. That is if you want to call the sequel and the third one a guilty pleasure, so be it. Because nothing's like the original for me, but I think 2 and 3 hold up. They really do. I even had a blast. I don't like the spin-off movies. I like it when it's the original cast. Like even Reunion for me, which is obviously the weakest one of the 4.
I like Reunion.
I still liked Reunion a lot. I still had fun with it. But man, American Pie, man, what's not to say about that movie? That movie was revolutionary as well. If you think about it, if you go back, 1999, man, was a great year for film. A great year. It
was. And this is the one that gets overlooked a lot too, with 99, because you're talking about movies that revolutionized their genres. This was the one who got the coming of age genre.
Absolutely.
It defined that genre for a very long time. And then you also have another series on here, which I'm sure everyone wants to talk about all the time.
The greatest Christmas movie of all time, man.
Oh man, Die Hard. Die Hard's on here. We also just did for top 10 single location movies. Die Hard qualified, and anytime Die Hard can qualify for a list, it will always be number one. It
will always qualify, dude. Of course, man.
And this staff on here loves Die Hard and Aliens, and any chance they get,
and Terminator
2, not just Terminator, Terminator 2. Any chance they get to put those movies on the list, they will do it. So Die Hard's on there. What's more to say about Die Hard? Everyone knows that movie. Everyone loves it.
We should give a little bit more love to Die Hard with a Vengeance.
We could do that.
I feel like that, not that it gets overlooked, because usually the general census is that the third one is the better sequel compared to 2, 3, and 4. I don't like to mention 5. I pretend like that movie doesn't exist. I actually do like every single Die Hard up to number 4. I think they're all very solid films, but 3 is for me the best sequel after the original. I think the dynamic between him and Samuel L. Jackson, the action in the movie, and again, it's one of those movies that the villain is very, very interesting.
Yeah.
Because it keeps you guessing. Jeremy Irons kills it as the villain.
Yeah.
I don't want to say his name for spoiler purposes, even though this movie came out freaking 1995. But I feel like this one doesn't get talked about enough. Die Hard with a Vengeance for me is definitely a go-to.
It's up there with the greatest action franchises ever. I think Mission Impossible holds the title right now, but you also have your Fast and Furiouses, and you have your.
I think after Fallout, that was a stamp, bro. Because Fallout is honestly one of the greatest action movies I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's not even close. I think Mission Impossible is easily the best action franchise. I know people love their Fast and Furious movies. They're guilty pleasures for people. I don't like it, but I understand the appeal behind them. But if I'm looking down this HBO list of movies that just came out yesterday, this is insane. If you look at some of these,
I think we're gonna mention the same one next, right?
Well, we'll probably get to it, but I want to say like Dragged Across Concrete was a Mel Gibson and Vince Vaughn movie that is brutal. Like not bad, but as far as like violence, if you want something very violent, that's one to check out. The Flintstones is on there. Very bad movie from the 90s. The Judge.
I love the Flintstones, but it's probably that's more of I know it's shitty, but it's like the nostalgia of it.
Yeah.
I hate the sequel. I hated Viva La Rock Vegas, but
it's on
seeing
there.
The Flintstones, seeing the Flintstones in the big screen for me after again growing up watching them, was huge. And I remember even. McDonald's had all these like glasses with the Flintstones. I had the whole collection. They had. I love that movie. Halle Berry's in it. John Goodman. Elizabeth Taylor plays Wilma's mom.
Yeah,
dude. I love it. I haven't seen it in a very long time, but I absolutely love the Flintstones movie.
You got The Judge on here, which is Robert Downey Jr.'s attempt to try to do something other than Iron Man.
MCU, yeah.
It didn't work out too well. I saw The Judge. I saw it in the theater.
Did you like it?
I didn't think it was bad at all.
It's fine.
It's fine. Right? Yeah, it's not as bad as people say.
No, not at all. Not at all. It's fine. I liked it. Bobby Duvall's in it. I liked it. It's not completely memorable. Like one of those. Oh, you need to see The Judge. But again, if it's on HBO and now you're in quarantine, you have plenty of things to watch. I mean, not the first movie I would watch, but I would check it out. It's not a bad thing.
In that movie is Jeremy Strong, which if you're on HBO, you know who Jeremy Strong is. He's the star of Succession, which is the greatest television show that is currently on TV right now. It's
I'll check that out.
Close. It's the most smartly written. It's the most not suspenseful, but it moves. I love Succession so much. So check that out. Kids Are All Right. It's on here. Another film. I haven't seen The Kids Are All Right, but I know a lot of people love that one.
Yeah, I haven't seen that either.
But I think this next one is the one you were talking about that we're both going to bring up. 2016, The Nice Guys, right?
One of the greatest movies of 2016, to be completely honest. That was like top 3 for sure. I think it was my number 1. Oh no! That's the year La La Land number. That's the year La La Land came out.
Mine's Arrival, and then La La Land, and
So
then
for me, it was La La Land, and then I think The Nice Guys was like number 2.
wow.
When you talk, it's funny because I don't know if you saw that Ruben. Shout out to Ruben, by the way, but I don't know if you saw that Ruben was he saw Overlord.
Yes.
And I don't know if you saw the little excerpt that he wrote that he's saying that for what it is and an original film, he gave it a B-, but he's saying that these are the type of movies that people want to watch, but they don't go see, they don't go support.
Mm-hmm.
Nice Guys falls under that category. And I wrote to Ruben how much I love that he wrote that, because The Nice Guys was a very, very funny film, very well written, very well directed. It's probably my favorite movie on this list besides Die Hard, to be completely honest with you.
Wow.
No, I really, really am such a huge fan of this movie. Oh no, I just saw Slumdog down there. Sorry.
Well, I mean, if you look under The Nice Guys, you have another Shane Black film sitting right there too.
We're definitely going to talk about. We're definitely going to talk about that one. But I love, one of the things that I said to Ruben that I loved is, like, so many people bitch all the time about going to the movies. I mean, that there's no originality no more in Hollywood. You know, the sequels and the reboots and the remakes. Why don't they? It's because of that. Because The Nice Guys bombed in the box office.
It's become the poster child for original films. It really has. Like, people point to why original films aren't put out as much. By the way, there's that stigma out there of how come there's so many sequels and reboots? That's all they do now anymore. Hollywood doesn't have any original ideas. That's not true. There's more original films put out every single year than sequels, reboots, remakes based on books, all this stuff. There's more original film every single year that's put out, and people just don't go see it. And that's your fault. That's your fault I don't want to hear complaining. When these films are put out and the critics are telling you, go see these things, go see them. You don't have to spend money on Charlie's Angels, or what was another big hit last year, like Aladdin. Like, you can watch Aladdin anytime, but it's sad. It really is, because people are still going to complain that that's all it is, and it's not.
Yeah, no, exactly. But that's what I mean. Like, I would get, like, we follow a bunch of like movie pages and forums and all that stuff. Yeah. And when they would announce, like, hey, Transformers 17's coming out, and people were like, oh, but Hollywood, and then I would write, hey, did you see The Nice Guys? Did you see Overlord? Did you see Upgrade? No, you didn't. You didn't go support these movies. And these are original films that are fantastic. Those 3 movies that I mentioned are great films.
Yes. And you just mentioned 3 different genres right there.
3 different genres, exactly. And no one goes to see them. So for the love of God, go, please. When the movies reopen, when the theater reopens, like, go see these original films, man. It's the reason why we're getting, Fast and Furious 10. Again, not that I hate the franchise. I think you hate them. I don't hate the franchise, but there are just way better films that I'd rather go see,
Yeah. So. I actually really liked Hobbs and Shaw. I will say that.
No, that was a fun film. Again, the movies are fun. I'm not saying that, that they're not fun. They're fun. They're fun movies, but stop.
Yeah.
I want to see other shit. All right, so Nice Guy.
Yeah, you mentioned the other one, though, Slumdog Millionaire. Another Oscar winner is sitting right here on this list. You haven't seen Slumdog Millionaire and you want to complete your Oscars, your Oscar watch, that's one you have to check out. Sophie's Choice is on there. Meryl Streep making the toughest choice in the world.
So I haven't seen Sophie's Choice, but when I did when I was recording my episode for the Schmodown, after my episode, I haven't even told you about this. I had a good one-on-one with Mark Andreyko.
Okay.
And I sat down and I talked to him about films, and because I was wearing a Meryl Streep shirt. Right. And he told me he was like, have you seen Sophie's Choice? I'm like, I actually have not. And he told me that it's one of his favorite films. So it is on my list, and it's awesome that it's there. So when I saw it there, I was like, this is great, because I'm finally going to check it out. But he told me it's literally his favorite.
You can see it now.
Yeah, exactly. No. It's I can't wait for that. I know we passed by Predator, and there's not much that I have to say about Predator except that I hate this fucking movie, and that's going to be my only F-bomb of the show. But I really hate what he did with this franchise. I hated the characters. I hated everything about this movie. And I only didn't walk out on it because I kept thinking to myself that it was gonna get better.
Well,
Every 20 minutes, I'm like, no, it'll probably get better now, and I really can't stand it. So don't watch it,
well,
please.
going down this list, you would think the Predator would be the worst one until you get to the letter X, and you got Xanadu sitting right there, which is notorious for being one of the worst movies ever made. So,
Oh no, no way, dude. War Dogs is another one. It's another Top Phillips movie, which directed Joker. I feel like this is his first movie that he tried to get more on the series, even though it has comedy in it, but it was more of a dramedy, if anything. With Miles Teller and Jonah Hill. I think this movie is excellent. I think this is another movie that doesn't get talked about enough. I think they both killed performance wise. I thought Jonah Hill was great. Miles Teller was fantastic in the movie.
isn't Bradley
So,
Cooper in that one too? Doesn't he?
huh?
Isn't Bradley Cooper like the cop that chases
Bradley
them?
Cooper's in it. Yeah, yeah. Bradley Cooper's in it as well. But that's one I would definitely check out. War Dogs for me was excellent, excellent movie, man. I would check that out. And I
And
hear a lot of good things about Water for Elephants. I've never seen it.
well, there, if you want
I,
to do your Robert
it's another,
Pattinson
it's
catch up,
another Patterson movie. Yeah, I haven't seen that. But another one, Team America: World Police. Have you seen that?
I've never seen Team America.
It's you know who made it, right? It's Matt Stone and Trey Parker, the creators of South Park.
Okay.
So just imagine that it's the most bizarre film. It's really out there, but it's a lot of fun. It's very funny. It's not for everyone, but it is for me. And
I
it's
know it comes up a lot in conversation with a lot of people, so I'm
yeah, yeah,
definitely going to get to that eventually. But you know, on HBO every Saturday they premiere whatever movie that was in theaters about maybe 8 months ago or so.
yeah.
So April 4th this month they got April 4th. Good Boys. Good Boys was a comedy that came out last year about three middle schoolers. Actually, yeah, middle schoolers
There was more
who
schools, yeah.
who just get into the most hijinks out there. They do dirty things. It's a fun time. You'll laugh watching it, but it's also kind of forgettable too. But Jacob Tremblay is a star. You're gonna see this kid everywhere in a couple years. He's like the next Ryan Gosling.
I feel bad that I don't know his name right now.
You don't
But
recognize who he is?
no, no, no. I know who Jacob Tremblay is. No, no, no. The little black kid from the movie.
Okay, I don't remember his name. I remember
It
the other
sucks
kid.
that I can't remember his
Brady's.
name, but he was so great in this movie.
Yes, he was the best part.
He was the best part of Good Boys, man. This movie actually like, it made me laugh. I thought it was gonna be just completely like South Park. Not even South Park. I can't even disrespect South Park because I love South Park. But I thought it was just gonna be kids cussing to cuss
Like
and
Crawford
kids just
Party.
playing with like sex toys for the sake of playing with them. The way they maneuvered every raunchy part to this movie, I think, was really smart.
Yeah.
And I loved how the movie is called Good Boys, and they obviously advertise it as a kids doing bad things, but they really were good boys at the
They
end
were.
of everything. They were very naive and didn't really know what the hell was going on or what a lot of things were. And
Mhm.
I thought the way that they worked that was really funny. That's why I do like this movie. I do agree with you that it is forgettable, but I do feel like people should watch it. They should support this movie because
It's a fun time.
it's not a bad watch. It's a fun watch. It's a
Mhm.
one-time watch. You don't have to see it again.
Yeah.
But it is a fun watch. So
The scene in the frat house is what killed me. I
that
thought
killed me.
was
That whole scene
amazing.
was beautiful.
Yes.
I laughed so hard because the screams and then the everything about that, man. It was really funny.
And then the week after, a big
Speaking of
one.
screams,
Yeah, It Chapter 2, man. It's weird how we got here because when that came out in 2017 was the biggest thing. Everyone ran out to see that movie. It was beloved. It made over I want to say 600 million or 700 million dollars
it was
worldwide,
the highest grossing R-rated
and
film.
Pennywise became just the biggest thing.
I
Yeah, it
ran
was
out
like
to go
behind
see
Deadpool or something.
it was Deadpool at first, and then this took over, and I was one of the ones that ran to go see this movie because I don't know if you got to see it with CST. But they all went to go see it at Aventura, and I couldn't make it out that night because I had my kids. So they had all seen it. They even recorded a show. The Nobodies recorded a show literally right after, and they were blowing it up, and I'm like, I need to see this movie. But that movie released on the weekend that Irene was supposed to hit Florida, so theaters were closing and all that, and I managed to find one showing at Dolphin Mall right before the hurricane was supposed to hit. And I'm so glad I did, because I am one of those. I will forever protect it. Chapter one.
Fantastic.
It's fantastic. It's such a great. It's you get a little bit of everything. You definitely get your horror because it is creepy. It has a kind of Stranger Things, Stand By Me vibe with the friendship of the friends. For me. It's great. Chapter 2, not so much. I feel that the first 1.5 act of the movie was fine. It gets really silly at the end.
Bringing the team back together was really interesting.
Yeah.
But I remember I saw this movie with you at a screening. And about halfway through, I started to realize that this is the exact same movie as the first one. We get together, and now we're all going to separate, and everyone's going to get their scares, and then we're going to come together to battle Pennywise at the end. This was just drawn out for 3 hours, though.
And and that's exactly, you used the perfect word. It was drawn out. All right. It was 40 minutes too long. Usually we say like half an hour. It was 40 minutes too long. Yeah. The fact when they all separate, and then you got to sit through every single one of their scares. Then they got to regroup. Then they got to go fight Pennywise. And there's like 3 levels of Pennywise. It was way too long. And the ending was just silly. Like, I felt like the ending would have been appropriate had they been still the kids, not the adults.
Mm-hmm.
The way that everything, at the end where everything is unfolding or whatever, I felt like it just didn't work for me, because I'm an adult and I wouldn't act the way that they just did. Like, I don't know. But I'm not a huge fan of the last half of this movie. So everyone, a lot of my friends have been. Go ahead.
That's something I really hate, is I've seen this done twice now, is when the movie makes reference to how the last one or the second half or whatnot is going to be bad. X-Men Apocalypse did this when they were walking out of the theater talking about Star Wars, the Return of the Jedi. And they're like, the third one's usually the worst. And they're referencing themselves because they know their movie's going to be bad. And I feel like they did the same thing here, because the whole thing with James McAvoy is he's a writer who can't finish his stories. And it's like they're referencing Stephen King the entire time, because
there's a little cameo in the film, which they poke fun of that as well.
Yeah.
So I agree 100%.
It's a disappointment.
It is a disappointment. It's very underwhelming. I from coming off of such a high with the first one, and the cast is great. It's not that it's bad acted, because I feel like everybody brings their A game. Even Bill Hader. Not that he's bad in anything else, but he killed it. He killed it in that movie.
I think it's a wasted cast, though, because I forget for a little bit that Jessica Chastain is in the movie, and that's not a good thing. James McAvoy is in the movie. I forget that sometimes, and that just because the movie's not very memorable. And I just remember walking out with such a disgust in my mouth, because I was really hoping this thing was going to be good, and it wasn't. So now we move on to Stuber, comes out the week after. I don't know if you saw Stuber. It's Dave Bautista and Kumail Nanjiani.
I know who's in it. I haven't seen it. I didn't see it.
I saw it in theaters when it came out. It's actually a funny movie. It's a really funny movie. Kumail is an Uber driver, and Dave Bautista is a cop. And he basically takes over Kumail's Uber and says, you have to drive me everywhere for the rest of the day. And it's just their dynamic going back and forth. Batista is a really good comedic actor. So I think actually like him better than John Cena as a comedic actor. And
so do I.
I'm
not a big Cena person. Like, I don't think the only thing that I think he made me laugh in was in Trainwreck. And he was in that movie for like 30 seconds. I didn't like Blockers at all. That talk about forgettable. So I am 100% with you with Bautista. Bautista has had so far his filmography is pretty good.
Yeah, absolutely. And then the week, so I would check that one. So I would check that one out. The week after, they were premiering Bad Education, which Bad Education was a movie that premiered at, I believe it was Sundance. and HBO picked it up. And it's Hugh Jackman, and I forget who the actress is in it, off the top of my head. But this movie got a lot of buzz out of Sundance. It was very hyped up. I'm interested to hear because it's about like the education system and something bad. I have to look up exactly the details in it, but I've heard very good things about this one.
It's a show or it's a film.
It's a movie. It's one of their original movies.
Okay, cool.
So,
cool. So I think that's it for HBO.
Yeah, HBO. We're gonna move on to Disney Plus now, which to me, there's not really never much to talk about with Disney Plus as far as content they're dropping on there. But there is a big one, and we mentioned it earlier. But April 1st, Dr. Doolittle's out there. Eddie Murphy's playing.
Eddie Murphy, Dr. Doolittle. Let's not mention the RDJ one, man.
Yeah, that was
bad. It's the actual decent Dr. Doolittle. I liked the Eddie Murphy one, man. I thought it was really funny. And since everybody's talking about Tiger King and all that stuff, you know, he saves a tiger in this one. So you guys make sure you support our Dr. Doolittle.
Oh man, I'm just looking through here because we'll do Onward last, but I don't see anything.
There's literally nothing else, dude.
No, it's their TV series, which I haven't gone around to watch their TV series. I saw the first episode of a lot of them when they first came out, but they have a lot of new stuff coming out. I just haven't really had the time to do it, and when I do have the time, I go watch something else. I will watch the Marvel series when they come out. I will watch The Mandalorian when it comes back, but right now I'm not really into any of these original programming.
April 30th. I mean, at the end of the month, you're gonna get National Treasure, but right now you can find National Treasure on Netflix. But I love National Treasure, and it's funny because yesterday I was watching Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, and it's just all those movies like that, like National Treasure and Indiana Jones, man. They're just fun watches.
Yeah,
and that's part of my main disappointment with Uncharted getting pushed back because I was looking forward to seeing something. Of that caliber, you know.
Yeah, you don't get those exploring movies anymore.
Yeah, man, I really miss those. That's why I kind of like Romancing the Stone. It reminds me of things like that. But I mean, Onward, man. That comes out tomorrow. It's very, very, very exciting.
So good move by Disney. I really like that they're putting it on their service, and they put it out for about a week and a half for you to be able to buy before early. Which I think is smart, but putting it on Disney Plus is a great move. It's saying that we're gonna give families something to watch. They're even putting it on there before The Rise of Skywalker, which I think is a little surprising. But
they're putting The Rise of Skywalker?
Rise of Skywalker is not on Disney Plus yet.
Oh, yeah, I thought you said it was. I was like, it just came out this week on Blu-ray.
The reason why I bring that up, though, is because they put Frozen 2 out on Disney Plus very early. So I figured they'd do the same thing with Rise of Skywalker.
I feel like they're going to let it sell for a little bit because Frozen 2 came out, and then it like a month later, it hit on Disney Plus. So I feel like since Rise of Skywalker just released on Tuesday on Blu-ray, on 4K and Blu-ray, I think it'll probably be we'll probably be talking about it next month for the May.
You're probably right. But Onward, you saw Onward, right? Before theaters shut down?
No, I'm just kidding. I just saw it. I didn't see it in the theater. I saw it at home. My kid's mom, they actually rented it. Okay. She ended up renting it, and then I saw the beginning, and then I was like, no, I can't watch it. And then I left 25 minutes into the movie, and then the next day, my kids loved it. They're like, "Daddy, you need to see it. You need to see it." So I sat down and I saw it with them.
So you want to hear my biggest thing with this movie? I think it's got a great story, a very heartwarming story. It made me tear up. I love the dynamic between the brothers, Chris Pratt and Tom Holland.
It did what Frozen did with sisters for brothers. That's how I looked at it. Like, you know how Frozen had the whole sister dynamic and all that? I feel like this is what this is for the brothers. So go ahead. What were you saying?
Yeah. But so I think this movie's got a lot going for it. It definitely works. My biggest criticism, man, is there's this plot point that follows it around the entire time that completely goes against what they already set up. And it's the curse. And this curse is following them around the entire time, saying if they get this gem, then they're going to unleash a curse. And it's established that the older brother, Barley, is this expert on all things magical. He knows about every spell and every magical material and everything that has to do with the world of magic. So how come he has no idea this curse exists? But this other lady, this is what bothered me is at the end when he pulled. I don't want to spoil it, but when the curse inevitably does come to fruition, I'm thinking to myself, how did the older brother not know about this at all when he's known everything leading up to this moment?
The whole movie he's the one that's telling him like, hey, you got to do this. This is how you do this. I don't want to say curse, spell or whatever, you know. So I get it. I understand exactly what you're saying.
So it like I enjoyed the movie, but it brought it down a whole thing for me because that plot point completely contradicts everything you had set up already. And once you notice that, you're like, damn it. But then as all that is happening, there's the sweet moment. Because if you don't know the story, it's these two brothers. They lost their father. And when the younger one turns 16, the mother brings down a wand and says, your dad left you this spell. And if you perform this spell, it will bring him back for 24 hours. So they cast the spell, but something messes up halfway between. And they only get
the brother doesn't know. The brother's not into the magic or into the spell. No. And he's the one that has the power to do so.
Mm-hmm.
And since he messed up the spell, he only gets half of his dad.
Yeah.
And then they go on a road trip to find the stone because the stone that they need is what's going to have them be with their dad again for the 24 hours. So it's a sweet story, man. I really liked it. I enjoyed the movie a lot. I didn't even think about what you said. And now you just ruined it for me. So thank you.
it sucks once you figure it out because you're like, damn it, they didn't think about that. Because you could tell how personal the story was to the director and how much everyone really loved making this film. The cast loved their characters. They were really out there promoting it, and
it made. Let me tell you, it had some parts that had me laughing so hard. Man.
Oh yeah.
I was laughing so hard watching this movie because I was even watching it and I was like, this movie is not, I don't know, why is everybody telling me that it's sad? And it wasn't until, obviously the end where you're like, oh, okay, I see how it is.
I got emotional at a point in the middle. All I'll say is the bridge scene. I thought that was very heartwarming when this happens. I'm not going to spoil what happens, but Onward, it's not a wash. I definitely think it's more in the upper middle tier of Pixar movies if I had to rank it. And if you have kids, this is another one that I would put on. Now that's on Disney Plus. You can eat. Disney Plus is not expensive, and your kids are really going to get distracted by it. So I think they'll like it. We got one more streaming service to get to, and there's only really one.
Have they been writing comments, by the way, or we haven't been seeing the comments? We're good.
It really died down. The last thing we had, James said he was proud of us. Steve said forget foreign language films, made in the USA, baby.
Jesus Christ, bro.
And then he told Bert to relax. And then Bert said classic, and he put the Android when you were talking about Mark and Draco, and that was the last thing.
Nice. Okay, cool.
So we just have one to talk about.
We have Apple TV, which, to be completely honest with you, I don't have, man. There's the one out of all the streaming services that we have mentioned. I have every single one of them except for Apple TV.
There's one thing though that does interest me. It's this show called Defending Jacob. It stars Chris Evans and Michelle Dockery and Jaden Martell from the It movies. And it is based on the best-selling novel, the same name, Defending Jacob. The limited drama follows a shocking crime that shakes up a small town in Massachusetts, putting one family at the center of it all. Ultimately, one assistant district attorney must choose between his sworn duty and his son. That sounds interesting to me, and the trailer looks really good. Chris Evans has obviously got a draw, being Captain America. So my family does have Apple TV. I just never watch anything on it. They love the morning show. So since they have it, I think I'm going to check out this show when it premieres.
Well, I'm scrolling right now, and I see that there's a show or something that's called the Beastie Boy Story. I'm always good for a good hip-hop documentary, if it's a documentary, but it says that it's Mike Diamond and Adam Horowitz sharing intimate stories about the band and the 40-year friendship. So I'll probably be password thieving somebody that has Apple Music. Apple TV, because that's something I will definitely want to check out. But
Um,
I think that's it, right?
we just got another comment from Rodolfo. Which this is a topic we can talk about. He says there's a rumor that Disney might be releasing Mulan and Black Widow on Disney Plus.
Yeah,
To me, this is not happening at all. There's
I
no
think they're gonna
way
push those back.
you're gonna do is lose money. I mean, they're losing money right now. If you put on Disney Plus, yeah, you're gonna get a little bump in subscribers, but they're gonna watch that movie and take off right away, or they're gonna get the free trial.
The free trial, yeah.
There's no reason to do it when you could wait right now, let theaters reopen in your late July, August, September, drop it there, and then make $1 billion. Well, I don't know why you would
No,
put.
and I feel like the smarter move is to wait because everybody, and I mean everybody, already has cabin fever.
Yes.
If you release those movies, you're gonna give people the incentive to go out, even if it's to a movie. That's right now like something that people are like longing for, you know.
Yes.
So I feel like they probably will. I really doubt because I heard the rumor as well that that they wanted to put them on Disney Plus. I don't think that's gonna happen. I maybe thought for Mulan it would happen. I don't think it would happen for Black Widow whatsoever.
So, like, people are saying this because these haven't been rescheduled yet.
Yeah.
Today, Paramount just came out and said Quiet Place 2 is coming out Labor Day weekend.
Labor Day weekend.
2 is coming
December.
out Christmas.
December.
And then they also had another one that got pushed back. I don't remember what it is. But basically,
It was like the SpongeBob movie or something like that.
that's what it was. They cleared their summer schedule, and they're starting to put dates. Sony did it the other day. They just put dates for Ghostbusters and Morbius. They pushed those back.
Next year, completely, yeah.
Right now, the first film to come out in the summer is Tenet, and then you have the Pixar movie Soul sitting right there. I think within the next couple of days, you're going to have Disney make an announcement for all these rescheduled dates. I think Soul's going to hold out hope to be that first movie that kids can go to once theaters reopen. But then I think you're going to see the new release date for Black Widow probably in, I would say, October, because Marvel's put out Captain Marvel and Avengers Endgame within the month of each other. You know, they're not scared to do that. I could see that moving there. Mulan, I could see opening up in August, right behind Wonder Woman.
I would have thought that they would have held on to Mulan for like a Thanksgiving, because it is a family, film about family and all that stuff. So I thought they were probably gonna hold out for Mulan for Thanksgiving weekend.
Well, you got James Bond to go up against then, and I don't know what else was planning on releasing at that time that was already scheduled for that time. I don't know what's there right now, but what you're going to see is once theaters start to reopen in July, you're going to get a bunch of movies clumped together for from July all the way up till I'd say March of next year. Just movie after movie after movie.
Yeah.
January is no longer going to be a dumping ground. I don't think you're going to see.
I heard they moved something to January. I forgot what it was. Something that was supposed to be a late. Steve had mentioned that it was a late August film that they moved to January. But even January films have been getting better.
Bad Boys.
With the last couple of years. Bad Boys. You had 13 Hours, 12 Strong.
The Gentleman this year.
Yeah, The Gentleman. I haven't seen The Gentleman actually.
Well, that's another one you can get right now on streaming.
Yeah. No. He saw it. My best friend saw it. He liked it a lot. He said it was pretty good. But yeah, no, I don't think it's gonna they're gonna do that, to be completely honest with you. I think they're gonna hold off, and and I feel like those movies are something that you should definitely try to see in the theater. Like, I wouldn't want to see a Black Widow movie, and it looks fantastic. I wouldn't want to see that at the comfort of my home, my own home right away. Like, there's movies that you go see to pay money to go see in the theater. I feel like that would be one of them. Even Mulan. Mulan looks fantastic. I was looking so forward to see that movie.
Well, Gilberto actually saw Mulan.
Yeah, I know. He actually saw it, man. It's crazy. I couldn't make that screening because of work. Which, in retrospect, I should have called out, because knowing what was gonna happen, I was
filming my movie that week, and it sucked because I wanted to go do that, but then the interview he was going to do ended up getting canceled for that Friday, which also sucks for him too. But yeah, man, it's just a strange world. All the movies that were out this year are now all out for you to see. You can buy them now. You got your Sonics, you got your Bloodshot, your Harley Quinn, you got
Invincible Man,
Invisible Man.
Invisible Man, The Hunt. The Hunt is out. So
that's another one.
Yeah.
You can catch up right now. I saw Bloodshot the other night. Not a very good movie at all. It's just stupid entertainment. I really don't think Vin Diesel's that good of an actor.
No, of course not. But you have to understand. I feel like he knows that as well. You get me? Like I don't think he thinks he's the best. I think he's A, getting a paycheck, and B, he just has fun. Like if you notice, he tried. I think the most serious film he's ever done has been Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah.
You know, and people forget that he's in that. And there's this movie that he did called A Man Apart. A lot of people haven't seen that movie, and I think he was really, really, really good in that movie.
Well, he had Billy Lynn's Long Halftime Walk, the Ang Lee movie, which is another not very good one, but he tried dramatic stuff in that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a weird time right now. Have you been What have you been catching up on movies over this time? Are you watching anything new or rewatching stuff? What are you doing?
Trying to finish Ozark.
Okay, I've seen the first 2 episodes of season 3.
Yeah. I love that show, man.
Yeah.
I love that show. I'm refusing on Tiger King, but I feel like I'm gonna have to bite the bullet, dude. I don't want to. Like I said, I have been trying to see. I've seen a movie at least since I've been with the kids. I haven't, but when I was like definitely quarantined, I was watching 2 to 3 a day.
Yeah.
You know, some again rewatching some classics that she's never seen before. So I showed her the Fight Clubs, and I showed her. She had never seen Prisoners. She had never seen American History X. So I tried to show her some while catching myself. Like I don't like musicals, and it's now stamped that I don't like musicals. But I saw Across the Universe. I did like that. I did like Across the Universe. I started watching Greatest Showman. Had to turn it off. Didn't like it. And I saw Moulin Rouge. Didn't like it. Didn't hate it, but didn't love it. It was one of it. I won't see it again. I think Ewan McGregor and Nicole Kidman were fine. Excellent, actually. I thought they were great. But that's as far as it goes. I am gonna watch Rent because just the plot of the film I'm kind of interested in.
Mm-hmm.
And from here on out, like I have The Way Back on the queue. I haven't seen The Way Back.
Yes, okay, that's another one that came out this year. That's a great movie. It's a really good movie.
I heard it's great. And again, anything Gavin O'Connor. Actually, I made her see The Accountant because she had. I showed her Warrior. She had never seen Warrior. I showed her Warrior, and I had never seen Miracle, and I saw Miracle. So she, but I told her because I had to go see the kids. I'm like, watch The Accountant. I think you're gonna like it. And she calls me and she's like, this movie's amazing. And I'm like, Gavin O'Connor. So now we're gonna probably see The Way Back sometime this weekend.
Yeah, the way back's really strong. So I just saw what I see today. I saw Dial M for Murder. I've been catching up. I saw
some Hitchcock, huh?
Yeah, so I went to Turner Classic Movies. We have DirecTV. I went to Turner Classic Movies and just went through the guide and recorded everything that I wanted to see that I hadn't seen before. And this was one of the first ones that popped up. So I was like, I got about 2 hours right now. I'm going to sit down, Dial M for Murder. Great movie. I mean, it lives up to his reputation.
No, man. He's a freaking genius, man.
Yeah.
Which other Hitchcock films have you seen?
My favorite is Strangers on a Train.
Strangers on a Train is excellent. That's a great movie. Yeah, I have a soft spot for Psycho. And I know that's his most popular, but I had an English teacher that was so obsessed with that film, and he made us like really dissect every scene. So I have like the ins and outs of that movie. I thank him for that. And then I ended up seeing Disturbia, right? And I didn't know that it was based off of Rear Window. So then I ended up watching Rear Window and just seeing how much of a better film that was.
Exactly. And then Vertigo is also the one that's considered one of the best movies ever made. What's the other one I saw?
That was his last, I think, right? Vertigo was his last, right? Was that his last film?
No, his last one was some random one. I think it was Frenzy. Frenzy was his last one. But I also just saw North by Northwest for the first time.
North by Northwest is another one. Yeah, man.
What?
Have you seen Rope or no?
Yeah.
Watch Rope.
I haven't seen Rope. No, that's another one. I got Lifeboat. I've got Lifeboat sitting in the queue.
There's one that I think there's Hitchcock, a bunch that I haven't seen, but I've seen like the very popular Hitchcock. I've seen those. But there's one of
Yeah.
his very popular ones that I have not seen, and I think it might. I don't know. I haven't seen Friends for sure. But there's one that everyone talks about, and I can't come up with it right now, but I haven't seen it.
Well,
But
you got Lifeboat out there. You got the birds. Is that it? The
oh
birds.
no, I've seen the birds a bunch of times.
Okay. Okay.
The birds back. Okay, so you lived in Orlando a long time. You know the where the Shrek show is?
Yeah. Yeah.
Shrek 4D. That was an Alfred Hitchcock show way back when,
That's
right?
good.
And they would show you how they did the scene of Psycho, the shower scene, and all that stuff. But then at the end, they would make you do the 3D glasses, right?
Yeah.
And when you would sit down, the in front of you, from the birds, they would all sit on top of people's heads, and they would start like attacking you and stuff.
That's great.
Pretty cool stuff.
See,
Yeah.
like I miss those old things. Like I miss at Hollywood Studios they got rid of the ride where it takes you through the history of movies.
The Great Movie Ride. That ride was awesome, dude.
I love going through that, man, and it sucks.
Yeah, everything now is like freaking simulator 3D screens. I hate them. Before like they had the Ghostbusters show. All these shows were awesome back then, man. So, but yeah,
Star Wars Land there now, and Tower of Terror is still holding on. And then
I will riot if they ever take that ride off.
It's because they turned it to the Guardians of the Galaxy ride. And
no, but they're doing a Guardians ride at Epcot right now. It's a roller coaster.
Oh, okay. So maybe they're gonna hold on to that.
Yeah.
But the Aerosmith roller coaster is still Hollywood.
That's turning into Iron Man.
That could work.
Yeah. But they're turning that into Iron Man.
The Aerosmith one?
Supposedly, that's a rumor.
Okay, so
this is a whole other show that we're gonna be talking about. A theme park. I don't know, junkies or some shit. I don't know.
We have a lot of time on our hands now, especially with the parks closed now. We have one more comment, and it's from Artie Breland. He said that reports that Vin Diesel doesn't get along with The Rock must be two guys with ego issues. I've heard those rumors too. I've heard Jason Statham is also involved in that, where they actually have in their contracts that they can't lose a fight. It's just ridiculousness. Like I heard Jason Statham actually stands in the editing booth and counts how many times he gets punched. Because
no way,
it's a real thing. You can look up the article. It's kind of sad when you look back at it. Like, I guess The Rock's the least prima donna out of the three, but Vin Diesel and Jason Statham are really big in their contracts. They can't not lose a fight in any of these movies.
Wow, that's ridiculous. I didn't even know. I thought it was just ego issues, to be honest with you. Exactly. And obviously, I thought the whole thing with the Hobbs and Shaw was the main thing, like the main issue. I figured that they threw a spin off to The Rock. The Rock mentioned it to them. They got in a fight about it. Like that's what I thought caused this whole shit. You know?
Yeah, it's just stupid nonsense. But I think that's it for today. We went over Netflix, Amazon, Hulu, HBO, Disney Plus, and Apple TV. Do we miss any? I mean, the Criterion Channel, I guess, but they're not putting out new stuff, I guess. You're gonna get HBO Max is coming out in May. Still, that's still something they're gonna be pushing.
I can't wait for that, and I hope the rumors are true. I know you're dying like me to see the Zack Snyder cut.
It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. But yeah, streaming services are dominating our lives right now. We need something to entertain us.
I mean, it's the highest it's ever been. I heard like through the roofs. Obviously, you know.
So like this time we're stuck in our homes. Use this time if you're not creating something. Get yourself smarter by watching all these old films or newer films, or don't use this time to sit back and watch reruns of The Office again. Use this time to expand your horizons a bit. So I hope we introduced you to a couple films or piqued your interest at all. And yeah, Jader, do you want to plug anything? You want to plug the Schmodown coming up?
The Schmodown, man. Well, I thought it was tomorrow. Apparently it's not. I'm like a terrible freaking contestant, but I guess look out for it next week. I've been lost. It's been PlayStation or Switch with the kiddos, kiddo time or movie and go to sleep, dude. Like I haven't done anything else, to be completely honest with you. I haven't seen any YouTube videos. There's no reviews or anything. I haven't really signed into anything on YouTube. So, and I feel bad. I haven't even checked out Christian's show. But I'm gonna have to start. But yeah, I mean, again once it drops, man. I'm sure you'll be posting it on the site. I'll be posting it on the site. So just look out for it, man. And to all our essential people out there, man, keep making the world a better place, man. Thank you for everything. Whether you're EMT, grocery store manager, what have you. Thank you for everything, man.
We really applaud you. We know it's a very tough time out there for a lot of people, and those people like that you mentioned, those essential employees who are out there still putting their lives out on the line every single day. Thank you so much, because without you guys, we'd be even a bigger mess than we are right now. And we're rooting for you. We're doing our best to help you out as much as we can by staying home, wearing masks, washing our hands, doing everything we can. I know it's very repetitive to say those things, but please, people, stay home. If you want this to end, if you want life to go back to normal, stay home. Watch these shows we talked about, these movies, and life's going to get back to normal, we promise.
Absolutely.
So with that, Jader, thank you so much, and thank you to everyone who watched
thanks
today.
for having me.
All right, and we'll see you next time, guys.
Later.